Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera video where we are about to go over the changes that happened to both Prompto and Noctis with their Crystal Level 90 Awakening. We're going to go over their EX Plus extensions, their C65 extensions, and with Noctis, we're going to go over his BT Plus weapon and the changes and or add-ons that he got with his BT Plus. So, as always, if you guys do enjoy the video, consider liking it and subscribing for future Opera content. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk about both the changes and the Crystal Level 90 for both Prompto and Noctis. So first we're going to jump into Prompto's EX extension. So when you have his EX passive, he gets a 60% Brave damage delta up and a 30% stolen max Brave overflow up. When you have his EX extension passive equipped, and when you use his EX ability, he gets an increase to Brave potency by a big amount, and his HP attacks, which previously were random hits, are now AoE HP attacks that deals full HP damage. That is a big difference compared to how it was previously. When you are done using his EX ability, his Brave attacks now turn into Overkill plus. So with Overkill plus, when you do use it, it breaks a target before he recovers Brave. Then he increases Brave recover based on attack, based on 200% of his attack. Then it turns into a 4-hit ranged Brave plus HP attack dealt twice. He gets an increase in Brave. It has a decent amount of overflow. It extends the base duration of the 70% attack down debuff by one action. It does not add to the turn count, and then it reverts the Overkill plus to the Crack Shot plus, back to the previous states after you use it. Also, whenever you are done using the EX ability for his HP attacks, his HP attacks turns into Crack Shot plus, which turns into a defense ignoring 6-hit range Brave plus HP attack that also does 2 HP dumps. It does get a Brave increase, a Brave potency increase as well. Does not add to the turn count, and then it reverts back to its HP attack, similar to the Overkill plus that reverts back to its Brave attack. Now with his C65, which was his attack speed up extend, when you use it, he gives an increase to attack. Previously, it used to be 15%, now it is 25%. He also gives himself a 20% Brave game received effect. So if there is anybody in the party that is providing any type of battery, he gets an increase to that as well. And he also extends the duration of his C65 effect by 2 actions, now totaling up to 6 actions. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video was that Noctis did get a small rework, so we're going to talk about that before we get into his extensions. So, his Crystal Level 55 Awakening, which is the Shooting Star Extend, when you are using Shooting Star or the Plus version of it, he gets an increase to single target range or AoE range Brave hits to 3 each, and he also got an increase to splash damage. Now, originally it used to do 50% splash damage, now it does 80% splash damage on any HP damage dealt attacks. Then, with his Crystal Level 60 Awakening, which is the Death Drop Extend, whenever you are using his Skill 1, it now turns into a 6-hit range Brave plus HP attack that does 2 HP dumps, and then when you are using his Skill 2, it now turns into a 4-hit range Brave plus HP attack that does 3 HP dumps, and they both do get an increase in Brave potency. Now we'll talk about Noctis's EX extension. Whenever you have his passive equipped, he has a increase to the Brave damage dealt, overflow up, he has an increase to the recast speed for his EX ability, and he starts the quest off with a max Brave up and an attack up. When you have his EX extension equipped, whenever you are using his EX ability, whether it be the normal ability or the plus version, it now does 4 HP dumps. It's a 4 hits melee Brave, followed by an HP attack. So 4 HP attacks in total with an increase to potency, and then on between every HP attack, he recovers Brave based on 50% of the total HP damage dealt. He got an increase to Overflow, and he also got an additional effect to the Omega, which is a self HP damage delta, and it is based on the stack count as well. So it'll start off at 5% at the first stack, and it'll go all the way up at 5 stacks up to 15% for the HP damage delta. His C65 extension, he got an extra use to his C65 extension, which was very much needed, and he also got an increase to his max Brave overflow up effect. Originally it was 15%, now it is at 40%. Then they added a 20% attack up effect and a 20% max Brave damage cap up effect. So now he can do up to 11,998, and most likely that would probably add on top of his high armor. So you will most likely be doing way more than that if you do have his high armor equipped, or if you do have it realized. Finally, we're going to talk about Noctis's BT Plus ability, which is now a 12 hits range Brave plus HP attack dealt twice. It is still a single target burst attack. It would have been nice if they would have added splash damage to it, but I mean, hey, well, you know, is it asking too much? Probably, but it is what it is. While Omega is active, he gets an increase to Brave hits to the target by 1. Now, the max Brave damage cap up was increased tremendously. Now he could do up to 59,994, and the HP damage cap up was increased, which is stupid because now he can do up to 700,000 HP damage, or in total he can do up to 1.4 million HP damage with his burst attack. It triggers the following burst effect for 6 actions. For the party, this is the new thing that they added for him. So for the party receives a 50% Brave damage dealt up and a 30% max Brave damage up to 12,998. Now, Noctis still does the follow-up whenever anybody on the team does any type of action. It does not trigger after counters and or chase sequences. Now, it is a 3 hits range Brave plus HP attack with 2 HP attacks now instead of 1, which is what it was originally. While Omega is active, it does get an increase to Brave hits to the target by 1. It has the 150% overflow, and then on the last HP attack, he recovers Brave to himself based on 20% of the total HP damage dealt, and it cannot initiate a chase sequence. So overall, I do like the changes that both characters did receive with their Crystal level 90s. With Prompto, I do love the fact that his EX ability is now AoE and full damage AoE. Like, I hated the fact that his EX ability, like originally, his EX ability was like those random hits, so it didn't really do like the full damage that I feel like he could have been doing. But now with his EX extension, and I guess where we are at in JP, it was a awesome addition to make that change into a full AoE attack. So I really do appreciate the fact that they changed that to it. With Noctis, I really like the fact that they gave, like, they threw the multiple HP dumps. I knew that they were going to lean towards that fact that they were going to do multiple HP dumps. They were going to make him recover Brave based on the amount of damage he was going to deal with between those HP attacks. The one thing that I do kind of wish they would have done is, actually no, there was 2 things. I do wish that they would have maybe I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little too, I don't know, greedy. But I do kind of wish they would have gave him an extra usage to his C65 so that his longevity would have been extra, even though I do feel like it is really good where it's at right now, but to extend that even further and to take advantage of his EX ability, given those free skills, and so that we could take advantage of the plus skills for his skill 1 and skill 2. Just having that ability would have been nice to have that extra one, so that instead of us waiting for the EX usage to get that free ability, we could just maybe pop a C65 here and there without having to wait on that. So I mean, you know, that would have been nice to have, but you know, just having an extra one really does make a difference compared to when it used to be only 2. Because when it was at 2, you kind of felt a little bit pressured, because like you really wanted to time his usage of his C65. Now with his LD ability, now I saw some comments immediately after his showcase that some people were I don't know, let's say bummed out or upset. Let's be real here. Some people were upset that his LD ability was not changed and nothing happens to his LD ability. You know, I'm like 50-50 on it. Like, I feel like his LD ability is just fine, only because I mean his LD ability is just making it so that everybody on the team is constantly doing attacks over and over and over for the duration of the buff that he is providing for the team, right? The only thing that I could have potentially seen Square Enix done to his LD ability is probably thrown another HP dump on it, and that's really about it. I mean, other than maybe possibly extending the buff to the extending the amount of actions to the buff that he grants from his LD ability, I really don't see any other thing that they could have done. I mean, they could have possibly maybe have added a free skill usage, which in turn could have actually helped them out in taking advantage of his C65, and also helping out with his skill 1 and skill 2, which in turn would help his longevity even further. But you know, that's just me. I mean, hey, I don't work for Square, so I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm just a player. So, but you know, that's a few options here and there. But I mean, his LD ability, I think is just fine. But other than that, I don't really see much issues with their Crystal Level 90 Awakenings. I'm pretty satisfied with all of the changes that both characters received, and I'm glad that I'm able to use Noctis specifically, because I mean, Prompto with what he had before, I think was just fine, but with the changes that he got now, he is definitely jumped up in the scale of characters of, or excuse me, in the usage of characters that I know that I can use. But with Noctis, yeah, you guys will definitely be seeing Noctis a whole lot more for future Lufenia Plus runs. But something tells me that, you know, with how Lufenia Plus runs have been running pretty smoothly as of late, something tells me some shenanigans is going to be coming up here very soon. But we're going to have to see. So, you guys let me know what you guys think on both characters' changes in the comment section below. But other than that, though, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in my next video.